What's up, guys? Bang, bang. It is lunch money time while Wall Street is trying to get rich. The rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. Polina is annoying me today. As usual, no problem. While Wall Street, yeah, I already said that. Don't worry that. Forget. Wow. What a start. Thursday. One day till Friday. BlockFi is now the sponsor of Lunch Money. You can go to blockfi.com/pomp. What is it?
Oh, blockfi.com/pomp.
Wow. Thursday energy coming out of you, no worries. Trillionaire energy coming out of me as always. If you want to earn up to 8.6% APY in an interest-bearing account, go to blockfi.com/pomp. You can also sign up for the waitlist for the Bitcoin Rewards credit card. Go get it, Bitcoin. blockfi.com/pomp. If I can't speak English by the end of this, do not be surprised. Let's go.
New applications for U.S. unemployment benefits rose in late March, but they're likely to begin falling again soon as the economy revs up, governments loosen pandemic-related restrictions, and companies seek to hire more workers. They have jumped to 719,000. What is this spike about? Is it just temporary?
These people are idiots. That's what happens. 719,000 people last week, in 1 week, filed for first-time unemployment claims. That, before this pandemic, would have been one of the highest rates of unemployment in a single week in history. Yet, we're talking about, oh, it's no problem, it's coming down, blah, blah, blah. Are you guys kidding me? And by the way, the narrative a couple of weeks ago was, oh, unemployment's falling, new job claims are falling. Well, now they're rising again. So is it they're falling, or is it that this is a temporary spike?
Yeah, I feel like I've read a variation of this headline like 18 billion times already.
The problem is that they still have parts of the economy locked down. The vaccine is here. They started with crush the curve. Then it was the vaccine. Open it up, let people go back to work. If people are scared, if they're old, if they have pre-existing conditions, we can protect them. But open up the economy and allow people to go to work so that we do not have 719,000 people.
That's wild.
For the first time filing for unemployment claims. Because remember, that means that those people didn't file since last March. For the last year, they survived, but now 719,000 last week finally capitulated and had to file. How many is it going to be this week? Hopefully not as many, but we don't know.
Robinhood is getting rid of the confetti animation that appears on user screen after they conduct their first trade and achieve other milestones. The change comes as the app faces growing scrutiny over what critics say is a gamification of trading that masks the potential for real losses in the financial markets. Now, as we discussed yesterday, we don't know anybody who is trading on Robinhood just to see that confetti screen.
Not only that, but the confetti happens after you trade. Well, so if you remove the confetti, it's not like you prevent them from trading. Literally, they trade, then the confetti happens. So removing the confetti is kind of more of a virtue signaling move than it is actually trying to change user behavior. If you want to change user behavior, make it harder to trade. Don't simply remove this thing that they don't know is going to happen until after they trade.
I don't know. And I know that that's a very valid concern and question for Robinhood. I don't see it in any of these articles that I'm reading. Nobody was like, hey, by the way, why don't you make it harder to trade if that's the behavior you want to decrease?
It's because they don't actually want to make it harder to trade. By the way, which is their right. They are a private company that is going to go public, supposedly. And their whole business is predicated on making it easier to trade. I think what they should do instead is say, listen, we're not going to make it harder. We actually want people to have this seamless way to trade. We believe gamification is the future, which obviously they believe. And we don't care what the critics say. Go and trade and use our product. If you don't want to use our product, go use a different product. Let the free market reign. Stop capitulating to the critics and to the masses. I love it because that's what's happening right here. Is literally Robinhood is taking a step back and they're saying, oh, we'll give you this thing. We'll take away the confetti. Either don't do anything or actually do the things that are going to have a material change on the business and the user behavior. Doing this kind of halfway mark, it's like you're trying to appease the critics without actually changing the problem or fixing the problem.
Frontier Airlines' parent company said it raised $570 million in an IPO, the latest U.S. carrier to take that route as the industry starts to see signs of a recovery from the COVID pandemic. So did Frontier not get a bailout?
Does it say?
No.
I think that they probably got something. Whether it was a bailout, whether it was PPP loans, whether it was payroll support, they probably got something. It would be hard to believe that an airline made it through the last 12 months, and while all of their peers and competitors took money, they took zero. That seems a little bit difficult. But again, it goes back. This is what we should have done last year. Is rather than the government create all of this money through quantitative easing and going ahead and handing out cash to everyone, especially the airline industry, they should have said to the airlines, you have access to the debt and equity capital markets, go and raise money or take a loan. If you need debt, go to the debt markets. If you need equity capital, go to the equity markets. But don't come to the US government begging for free money. That's what happened, is the government gave free money to a bunch of these airlines. I think it was 1/3 of all the money that they gave was for free. You don't have to pay it back. There's no interest. And they didn't get any equity for it. So they literally just printed or created money and then handed it to all these airlines. What's up with that?
All right. So
did they take any money?
I couldn't find.
Okay.
So get this. Slack CEO Stuart Butterfield went on Clubhouse to speak. The other speaker in the room was Clubhouse founder Paul, what is Paul's last name? Paul Davidson. Okay, and Stuart, the CEO of Slack, made his announcement on Clubhouse in a chat with Davidson saying, I've always believed the good artists copy, great artists steal thing. So we're just building Clubhouse into Slack, essentially. And he gave a quick rundown of all the Clubhouse features he planned to replicate on his larger and better funded platform. And then wrapped up by saying, so look out for Clubhouse built into Slack. I wonder how Paul responded to that.
Talk that smack. Let's go.
I'd be like, get off my platform, Stuart.
No. This is exactly what should happen. This is how free markets work. Allow Slack to do whatever they want.
Yeah, but
if you've got the superior product, then go and beat them. Go beat them.
Is that what if you were Paul, how would you respond to Stuart?
I would say, great, congratulations. You should go do that. You should go build that into Slack. By the way, we have something completely different that we're trying to build, right? With all the creators, etc. But here's what is going to end up happening. It's the same thing like with Instagram stories. Whoever has the bigger network, they win. And Slack realizes they have this massive network. Slack, first of all, is going to allow you to chat with anybody on the Slack platform, not just the people in your Slack room, but they're soon going to allow, let's say Polina worked at one company, I work at a different company, and we're not in the same Slack room. I could then message Polina directly so that now Slack becomes like a social network, essentially. Then the second thing is that they build in things like Clubhouse functionality, etc. Drop-in audio is a feature on most platforms. It is not an entire product. We'll see. But I actually think Clubhouse has a good chance of being a very, very successful business.
It's been a great time to be selling really, really expensive cars. Super expensive cars like Ferraris, Bentleys, and Lamborghinis. Finished 2020 at a blistering pace. During the pandemic, sales have risen. In the United States, overall passenger car sales were down 10% last year compared to 2019. But sales of cars costing more than $80,000 were almost double in the fourth quarter of what they had been the year before.
Bang, bang, let's roll!
The booming stock market has played a big part, and since the wealthy haven't been able to spend money on trips, many have turned to luxury goods like expensive cars.
Let's go! I love to see it. If you understand anything about assets, luxury goods serve as great stores of value. Cars, not so much, depreciating asset. But for the most part, when people get super, super rich, like what's happening right now, as they create all this money and push up asset prices, no yawning on the show, we've already been over this, then what people will do is they will go and they will buy luxury goods, luxury homes, luxury bags, luxury cars. And if you own or sell Ferraris, Bugattis, Bentleys, Corvettes, Porsches.
Ooh, Corvettes.
Lamborghinis.
Ooh, Lamborghinis. Okay.
You're probably going to do well.
Guys, we've gone an entire episode without telling you this. Today April 1st, 2021 is exactly 1 year since we aired the first Lunch Money episode. So if you have been here since day one, congratulations. It has been a year.
April Fool! No, just kidding.
Yeah,
it really has been 1 year.
Although some could argue it was March 31st, but that's when he did it by himself and I joined on April 1st, so that's the real start date.
Nerd.
Okay, it's Ask Lunch Money time. I couldn't find a good question, so today we only have a Moist update.
What's up
Moist
with them?
says, day 90 of commenting then. Ha ha ha. Sending the DM with my email right now. And we did not email him, so what do we do?
Moist, I told you to stay out of my wife's DMs with your cell phone number. And then I heard that you DM'd her your number. Strike one. We've gone all this time. And now all of a sudden you screwing around. I will email Moist today. I think I may even title the email, Dear Moist.
So what are you going to tell him?
That's for me and him to have our conversations, an A-B conversation. So see your way out of here. I'll come back to everyone with a little Moist update. Wet, soggy, sorry.
We've appreciated you so much on this long journey.
Maybe I'll do a little three-way call.
Goodbye.
Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.